So, on and off, it was no different there. Hobbling around the streets of Havering as a kid in the Royal Liberty of Havering 80 Balwa, forced to hobble and limp around the streets. But as a child, that's because John Bacon and Gary Dixon had been, and all of their other alias extended kinship names, which they've got quite a few of: John Bacon, John Lackluster, Norman the Nonce Tebbit. Likes to bottom up for it, yeah. The politics of Norman the Nonce, Norman the Nazi Nonce, John Bacon, all of his aliases and the names that they would use, nicknames that he had. Yeah, no different than here, where they use all these aliases and nicknames to to camouflage who they really are and their true intents. But yeah, as a child, that was me, innit? I was forced to walk, hobble, and limp around the streets with a butchered right arm with hundreds of stitches in my right wrist, so I couldn't fight them off when they would try to abduct me. And plus, I had soluble stitches through my scrotum. That I think this is what my mother thinks I fell on a fence. They all think I fell on a fence. I think what happened was this: is Gary's gaffer nicked the end of my bell end because they're Nazis into circumcising the Jews, yeah. But their idea of circumcision for the Jew doesn't involve cutting the foreskin off of the kid. It just involves marking it up, cutting it, and then once the victim's got a small incision there, yeah, they can send the victim off to Haroldwood Hospital, where the vasectomy operations were performed by one of their associates at Haroldwood Hospital Children's Ward, and that's how I end up with the big incision through the scrotum, resulting in the vas deferens being injected. So that's chemical castration of their Jew victims, in it. They render their Jews Jaffa, seedless, as teenagers, bar mitzvah. So with their Nazism, it involves a gaffer making a little cut in the top of the bell end, and then getting the child to the hospital and incising the scrotum, whereby they can then have the injections put in the vas deferens. Chemical castration via surgical incision, yeah, of teenage boys that they got to torture, sexually abuse, whilst having systematically surgically butchered. So as a child, I was forced to hobble around the streets, butt-fucked, tortured, with stitches, soluble stitches through my scrotum, a big surgical incision through my scrotum and one in my bell end. And like I say, circumcision with them doesn't involve cutting the foreskin off. It involves just marking the child up enough to get them hospitalised, whereby an operation can take place in that area. Yeah, so basically make a little small incision cut at the top of the bell end, and then the kid's got to be admitted to hospital, wouldn't they, to have it stitched up. But once the kid's in, they put the kid under general anaesthesia, cut open the scrotum, inject the vas deferens, render the teenager sterile. Yeah, now that's their Nazism. They'll take the ones they cast off as Jews, and they will render them seedless, Jaffa. His gaffer gets to play Nazi Reich rituals with kids that get raped, surgically butchered in intimate areas, genitalia mutilation, physical mutilation. Plus, he gets to molest and torture them with a handheld stun gun. Bacon's and Dixon's and all the rest of the aliases they appropriate the use of. Wonderful people.